knocked away by a tumble, but into the hands of Peterson. Antonio Davis.
Stomp your feet, everybody, from Philadelphia. 76ers, clap your hands, everybody, from Philadelphia. 76ers, stomp your feet, everybody, from Philadelphia. 76ers, clap your hands, everybody, from Philadelphia. 76ers, stomp your feet, everybody.
Yo, you are now tuned in to the Eat Sleep Sixers podcast. You got that right. Sixers win. Sixers win. Sixers win. I am
Wasn't
one
pretty,
of your
but
hosts,
we did it.
215 the sports guy. I got my big guy here, Berg Harrell, SWP. How you
Southwest
feeling, baby?
Philly. I missed the first half, but the second half was exciting, man. Some of them, they ain't always going to be pretty. We got a saying, we always say ugly but fair. They
Facts.
tried to get us, the refs tried to get us at the end. Tobias put in work. I'll take it.
I mean, the refs tried to get us quite a few times in this game.
Yeah.
You seen Nick Nurse with his Michael Jordan crying face emoji like last year, all game whining to the refs, man. But great game, man. Great team win, great team effort. It seemed like every player had their piece in this game. Even PJ Tucker with his solid defense at sometimes. You know what I mean? But solid game, man. I want to read off some stats if you don't mind, my brother. If you don't mind. Joel Embiid with a double-double, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Tobias Harris with a solid 21 points, 4 rebounds. Solid game by him, Mr. Consistent. James Harden, 14 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. He threatened with a triple-double. Daniel House with 9 points off the bench, Bird.
Yeah.
9 points from that man. You know,
Sufficient points.
it was a solid game altogether, man. PJ Tucker with 5 points. Okay, now?
Yeah, hey, above his average. I'll take it.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna call out my man Greg, man, because Greg always gives Tobias his flowers.
You right, Greg.
Tonight, you know, most games, man, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I posted in Sixers 24/7. He is one of the most important Sixers because he plays both sides of the ball consistently, and he's gotten better with his catch and shoot game. You know, It was very, very impactful tonight.
Very, very.
Very impactful, man.
And clean, clear, good shooting. No rattling. He must have practiced on that. The very most consistent Sixer on the team. He gives you what he gives you regularly.
You can count on it.
Yeah.
You can count on it.
And that's a plus, being our quote-unquote fourth option. You know what I mean? And
5 wins in a row, man.
Yeah.
5 wins in a row.
Yep.
On a tough homestand with a few teams that people probably thought that we couldn't get wins off of. But this team is gelling together right in front of our faces. Right in front of our faces. And, you know, it's hard not to get excited as a Sixer fan right now at this moment. You know, 5 out of 7, Smitty is saying. So we got 2 more. We got 2 more to go, you know.
Yeah.
We got 2 more to go. And
it is very exciting simply because it was just a matter of gelling. There was a lot of people skeptical about how things was going to transpire as the season progressed. And I'm feeling confident about them, you know. I mean, working out the kinks.
Right.
And like I said, it wasn't pretty, but it was fair. And a good way to come back when, you know, a little bit of adversity was in our way. And they just came and did what they had to do. Definitely could have did some things better. I don't know what the turnover situation was, but it was, I mean, it was a tough, gritty game. They always play us tough. Siakam always get his. So it's hard. I can't complain.
Here she come down the steps, Berg. She walking down here. You know, everybody knows around this time of the
Oh
show.
yeah,
You know, when we get a
flower
W, the
lady.
flower lady is here. She just
Yes, she
handed me a
is.
bouquet. Berg has a bouquet. Berg, who's your flowers going tonight for tonight's win?
The very most obvious. I mean, I gotta give it to him, man. Tobias, man. He was very sufficient
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
efficient.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like, there's nothing really ain't much you can say.
Most definitely.
He,
Most
he
definitely.
he's playing his role. He makes us a formidable component. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maxi
yeah.
come back. You got Embiid, Harden, guys coming off the bench. That puts Melton off the bench, man. We got something to look forward to. Like, everybody should have some sense of confidence.
Most definitely.
No, with the constructive criticisms, which is totally warranted. But overall, man, look, let's do this.
Most definitely.
Let's do this.
Most definitely. My my flowers would have to go to. I was stuck in between, but it would have to go to Mr. James Harden. Everybody looks for the gaudy stats, the triple doubles, and the 40 points, the 35 points, and all of that. This man controlled the game tonight as far as his floor game. He had
Yes,
a
he did.
nice floor game tonight, man. And it's love seeing him blossom as a point guard. And he's not the James Harden that we grew up watching from the
Yeah,
Houston Rockets. He's flourished into a facilitator, a true
exactly.
point guard. And he's making me eat my words from about 5, 6 games ago when I put out there in Sixers 24/7 that I don't think he's the point guard for this team. Why? Because he wasn't playing like it. It was a lot of dribble, dribble, dribble in
Yeah.
between the legs,
He had some
running the clock
possessions
down.
this game when he dribbled a lot,
Huh?
but he had some possessions this game when he
Yes, he
dribbled
did.
a lot. I
Yes, he
mean,
did.
when I want
Yes, he
that
did.
ball to rotate. And if I do got a complaint, it's the idle players while certain players got the ball. I don't even care if you plan on getting a touch. Just cut the baseline. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let
Like,
me
keep
ask
the
you a question,
defense
Bert.
moving.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that's a player thing, like them deciding themselves to move, or is that Doc? Does Doc has to put that flow into the
I
offense?
I, I don't think Doc is a good in-game adjuster, like
Okay.
during a possession. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
I think these guys got a green light to do what they want to do. Certain players like Embiid, like Harden, you know, and it's just like, just stand there. Like I said, you don't have to expect the pass, but just cut the baseline,
Most
move.
definitely.
You know what I mean?
Hey, Frank.
What's up, Frank?
Frank, I'm in total belief that he's watching us because I called it. I called it pregame. I said Tobias was out with a back injury, but I don't think it was that serious. Y'all can watch it
Right.
after we get off. I said he's going to get back to his high performance that he was on before he left out. Boom, hit him over the head. Hit him over the head. Excellent game by him, man. Excellent game by him, man.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of emotion by him, but you saw that once he knocked down that triple that they waved away. That
Yeah.
was crazy.
Refs at it again.
Yeah, but you saw the emotion from him, man. That was great to see. You couldn't do nothing but smile as a Sixer fan
Yeah.
because Toby doesn't get rah rah a lot,
And
but
I
it's
want
good.
him to. I need him to.
Yeah,
I used to
yeah,
say I need somebody to punch this man in the face, something to spark some kind of grittiness out of him.
yeah,
And that play might epitomize what's to come.
yeah.
And I don't know. It's all good.
Most definitely. Uh, Stats that don't show up on, paper is, D'Anthony Melton's defense was solid tonight. You
Yeah.
know, PJ, besides Siakam having 38 crazy points, which I hate his
Yeah.
game. His game is just
Yeah.
super awkward. He has no moves and he just pushes people out of the way, get work. But it works for him.
It works.
You look up at the
Definitely
stat sheet.
against us.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
always against his best games is against us. We
yeah.
just can't defend him. Because if he is supposed to be quote unquote their center, I mean, we can't defend him.
PJ had a few nice possessions against him late in the game,
Yeah.
late in the game. But, for the most
When it
part,
mattered.
yeah, for the most part, he was cooking it. And, shout out to him. Shout out to him. You tip
Exactly.
your head off to individual performances like that, as long as we got the win. But Hold
He is
up.
definitely clutch, Abdul. Super clutch.
Where Jose? Tobias quoted him post game. What he say, Timmy? Because we were on post game. We didn't
What's up,
get this.
Timmy?
I know Tobias watches the show. You know, hey
Yeah.
Toby, you might just come sit up here post game, brother.
Yeah.
But you know, excellent game, man. Sixers on a now 5-game winning streak.
Do you know
Five.
the turnover numbers?
I do not have the numbers in front of me right now, but I would imagine that we did pretty good as far as
Yeah.
turning the ball over. We did pretty well. You know, great game by us, man. Great game. You know, Joel Embiid stays consistent on his leading. Oh wow! Oh wow! Did he really say that to me? Did Toby really say, "Tell a friend to tell a friend I'm a sharpshooter"?
They should already know. It's been proven. He been proving it all along.
That's too damn close. That's too damn close for him not to have watched our show. He watches our show. He watches our 16 turnovers, which is
Yeah.
yeah. It's pretty sloppy. A lot of that was towards the end. Harden had a turnover that I didn't like. Few of them actually, but overall, man, solid, man. Solid team win. And as much as people shame him when we lose, as much as people throw dirt on his name when we lose, Doc Rivers has got his finger on the pulse of this team right now, man. And you know, you got to give your flowers to him when the team is playing like this. This was not the LA Clippers we were playing tonight. This is a team that we'll see again in the playoffs.
Yeah.
This is a playoff tested team we played tonight.
And the team
And-
that always plays us tough,
Right.
regardless of who's out there.
Right.
But we
And
do a good job of Van Vliet being inept. Like, he gets nothing against us.
Well, he got
Not
nothing tonight.
Yeah.
He got nothing tonight.
Most times we play them, his numbers is really, really normal.
I ain't gonna lie though. They had Thad Young on Embiid for a lot of the portion of this game. I
Yeah.
did not like the fact that we weren't set up low in the post on Thad Young with Embiid. You know, Thad is skin and bones. He's a solid defender. Don't get me wrong. But Embiid with his back in the post on the block with Thad Young, automatic. So, you know, I want us to get better at identifying the matchup. And even if Doc's not calling for it, on our own, we got to set that up.
That's
Put
what
him on the
most
block.
of what they do is on their own. But what will get them beat the ball in the post is ball movement and player movement. I mean, get him a post pass off of some ball rotation where the defense can't just like sit there and sit on top of them.
Most definitely.
And they gotta see that. They gotta work on that.
Hey, I was thinking that tonight, RJ. I was thinking that in my head as he was cooking. Damn, why not throw Paul Reed out there? You know, after he had him in handcuffs last year for a good portion while he was in the game. But you know,
active body.
Doc is stuck in his ways, man. Once he has something going, he's not switching off of it. Keith Sampson's in here, my brother. Shout out to you, bro. You know, he's not switching off of it. He has in his mind that Dreadman Harold should be the backup center right now. And you know what? Dreadman had one rebound, 7 points. So of course you would like him to have some more rebounds, but 7 points off the bench from your backup center, not bad. Would Paul Reed have been more serviceable on the defensive end? Could you have put them both out there together, being that Niang wasn't having a good shooting game at all tonight? Maybe. You know, you would like to see a little bit more adjustments from your coach in game. You know, if something's not working, switch it out. You know,
That's not your Doc Rivers. That's not him.
Yeah.
And he got work to do. It ain't all just about the team and the players having work to do. He got work to do. And I hope he realized that. He got to stop being stubborn with, you know what I mean, stuck in his ways, like you said. He got to look at the film and adjust And I don't think he does that. I really don't think he does that. A lot of our wins come from our own, from the players' grit and toughness, not nothing that he implemented. And I've been saying that for the longest.
I,
He's not that hands-on coach. Us winning doesn't make me so. Oh, Doc did great. I mean, specify. You can say Doc did great, but how? What did he do?
I'm a big believer in, when the team's doing bad and we put the blame on Doc, he has to wear that. When the team's doing good, we're on a 5-game win streak. I can't sit here and say he ain't had nothing to do with that.
Listen to what I'm saying. It's more identifiable when we lose things that he could have did different. But when we win, it's hard to identify how he actually played a role
I hear you.
because it's usually player heroics, and that's just basketball. Period.
I hear you.
Phil Jackson wasn't winning for Chicago. That was late game Jordan heroics.
Yeah.
Golden State wasn't Steve Kerr with this great game plan and great, in-game adjustments. That
Players
was
win
Steph Curry
games,
shooting.
Players win
Absolutely.
games. I get you.
So,
But coaches
I mean,
put them in position to win games also.
no, that's not always the case in my opinion. Put
It
him in position
differs.
now. It's not much play calling. It's not much, directing traffic from the bench. He talks to his assistant coaches more than he talks to the players. And then you got players that he don't even talk to at all. He says nothing to Harden and Embiid during the game as far as offering some kind of, direction ever.
He normally lets his stars, and this is from history. He normally lets his stars figure things out amongst the game.
Which takes away from him being this, he got a lot of wins, but I mean, he's just not that guy, in my opinion.
Understood. I want to show some love to a few people in the chat right now. Streeza from YouTube saying House had 9 tonight. We touched on that. We need that 9 from House off the bench. Whenever he's in the game, I want him to, mark his territory on the game. I don't want you just out there. And he had some pretty good defense tonight.
Yeah, I don't need 9 from him every night.
Not every night, but when you're in the game, make your mark on the game.
Defensively.
Defensively, and make a shot or two. A shot or two, because he's often open. RJ is saying Pascal for elbows like he played in the pen, MBS. So yeah, he do a lot, and I know quite a few of you caught him tonight, with offensive fouls that wasn't being called by the ref.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Officiating in all of sports has been the worst lately. So I mean, you gotta find a way to work around. And I know this is always a female ref when the Sixers play. Out of 82 games, they got a female ref probably like 65 times a game. But that's not the case with all. Not to question their abilities or anything. One complaint I did have, and a lot of people ain't gonna like this, is
oh God,
you know who I'm talking about. These two, man. Y'all gotta not be biased, but all right. Perfect example. At one point in the game, Kate said, and Toronto was up 7 instead of saying the Sixers is down 7. Like, what's your concern? Like, we gotta listen to this.
I pointed this out before, and I'll point it out again. Now, Kate knows ball. Kate knows ball. I could clearly hear that when listening to her. But Kate is not from Philadelphia. She has no Philadelphia ties, and I think we've been spoiled with Zoom Off and the mixes that would say things like "we" and "are." You don't get that in their vocabulary because these two aren't from here. They're not Philadelphia bred. Yeah. So, I think we just been spoiled over the years.
Yeah. But as a fan, that's part of the game. If you're going to watch it, you got to hear it. You understand what I'm saying? And to say that she knows ball, she's a good play-by-play announcer. I never hear one X or O or something that they have to do strategically or nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a Doris Burke. Doris Burke knows the game of basketball.
Yeah.
He talks basketball, X's and O's. And I don't expect that from Kate, but going into the playoffs, you don't want to hear nothing about the other team. We a passionate bunch here, man. Come on, baby. Well, go ahead and get on board.
Going into the playoffs, I don't think we'll hear them at all, because the national broadcasters will take over that. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
It
you
is
know
what
what it
it
is,
is.
but it's not
You
that
know,
big of a deal. It's just some
everybody
things.
know Bird got a thing for Kate
And Allah, and
and
Allah,
Allah.
man.
You know, it's
Come
nothing
on,
new.
man.
But I
We
respect
used to
them.
Harry Callises and stuff like that, man. They they
Man,
they they
listen,
they
everybody
fans.
you're
They
naming,
don't talk like Sixers fans.
everybody you're naming is Hall of Famers, bro. We've been
I'm
blessed
just
here in
explaining why we
Philadelphia.
spoiled.
That's
I'm
like that.
just
We're spoiled, just like with the AIs and Embiid. People hold Embiid to a crazy, crazy ceiling as a person and an athlete because the Hall of Famer that came from Philly that led the Sixers at one point. It's not going to be another AI. Joel Embiid got to be Joel Embiid. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Which I think is still magnificent, man. This guy is he wows me every game with his game. It's just is very guard
Surprised me
like.
with his ability as well. But as far
It's
as
amazing.
who's our leader, is it Harden?
I'll say this to say, and people might look at this crazy. I think we're still developing a leader on this team, and who I think is going to come out of the pack as the leader on this team quietly, not rah rah. Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris. He's
I don't
he's
think that.
respected among his peers. He comes out and laces them up every day. He doesn't whine. He keeps his head down and he grinds. And you got different type of leaders. You got vocal leaders, and you have guys who come out consistently and do what they do, and it makes it hard for the next man not to go hard because he'll make them look bad.
So he'll
You know,
indirectly be a leader. But one thing that
yeah,
comes with a leader is a dictatorship. We need a
yeah.
dictatorship, a court
Do we?
awareness. I think we do. The kind of turnovers and stuff we get and the bad possessions we have, we need
Yeah,
a dictatorship. Somebody who talks basketball
yeah,
on the court, or on
yeah.
the court coach. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, Ant says Harden is a leader. I say this
See, the
too as
closest to
well,
being
Ant,
the leader.
but to younger players on the team, to younger players, he has more of a knack to pulling them to the side, like he did Maxi, and he does with Thibault quite a few times. I've seen him,
I,
But as far as to his peers, like other vets, I don't really see him doing it. You know what I mean? I don't really see him
I
doing
do kind of.
it from
I
time
do
to time.
kind of.
From time to time,
And I'm
from
talking
time to
about
time.
during possessions, not necessarily just like on the sideline.
Yeah,
Just uh, we don't get that. Watch your back. We don't get that. You got to do this. I see him talking to Embiid tonight. I don't know what he was telling him, but it was kind of like directing him, like, yo, you can't do that, because that was the possession when Embiid dribbled the whole possession and shot a turnaround jump shot.
yeah.
That's too individualized. Like, we are a team, man. Rotate the rock, man. Every possession counts.
I think you're speaking of Harden, correct?
Embiid shot a turnaround jump shot after having the ball for like 14 seconds.
Okay. And Harden
Like,
came up
I
to
mean,
him and said something
after,
to him.
like, yeah, he said something to it. I was just hoping that that's what he was addressing. Like, come on, you just don't do that.
Well, it could be with Harden. Harden just got here, halfway through last season.
Right.
So, he's still trying to maybe find the right approach to talk to Embiid. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? In that way that he would talk to Maxi. They're
Right.
different personalities.
Yeah. Plus,
So
Maxi's a young boy, right? He's
yeah,
very, very young. So it's easier to.
and he listens more, man. You can see his ears and
Exactly.
his eyes is wide open. He's open for that type of dialogue. Maybe
Yeah.
MB takes a different type of communication, and Harden has trying to figure that
Yeah.
out. Because it's his team too at the same
But he
time.
would have to embrace something, some kind of criticism. And he don't take criticism well, but even if it's constructive criticism, I don't think Embiid takes it well. He has to learn to embrace that, knowing that it's constructive.
I
How
think
can
I
you
think he
not
actually
embrace it?
does. I think he actually does. It depends who's it's coming from. If you could think back to when Shaq was pooping on them all in the media on TNT,
Yeah,
all night. You need to do and Barkley, you need to do this, you need to do that, big fella. He came out the next game, he played better, and he actually came out and said, they were right.
yeah,
They were right. So depends on who it's from. He has to
right,
respect the guy who's saying something. You
yeah.
know, You can't be the 12th man on the bench telling me I need to do this, this, and that. You know,
If it's
who are you?
constructive, if it makes sense.
If it makes sense and he
You
respects
gotta
you.
embrace anything that makes sense. My arch enemy can tell me to duck. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm going to duck.
facts. But you
know
got to
what I
think
mean?
about it. This is a younger generation we're talking about.
Yeah,
You know,
that's,
they respect what they see. And, you know, you have to have been there before to tell them something.
right.
You know what I mean? So,
Even in that case, it's hard.
yeah.
I don't know.
You know, I want to take this time, man, to give some flowers to my OG Bird, man. Y'all may not know this on here, but you know, it's normally me, BG, Jen, Jose on here, you know, and BG is overseas right now, you know. Shout out to the vets out there. So he's not able to get on here as much as you see. Plus, you know, we've had some illnesses on the team, man. Every time we call Bird to come through and chop it up with us, he slide right in. And you know, this is not an easy thing we do up here. You know, it's very time consuming. You know, what we do for you guys here in 624/7 YouTube, Twitch, you know, Spotify. So I want to give the flowers to my OG right now, man. I appreciate you. We appreciate you for rocking out with us, bro.
Hey, man,
For
thanks,
real.
man.
For real.
Definitely welcome.
Yeah.
And I just love my squad, my Sixers fans, and more than anything, I want the Sixers to win a championship for the people who never got to get that feeling, man. I
Right.
want them to feel that. I want them to feel that bad.
Right.
Because in '83, I was around, and I was on 52nd and Market, representing. Like, you know what I'm
Way
saying?
back.
I want my young bucks to see a title. I want new fans to see a title. How it
Yeah.
feel. It'll be 40 years if we don't get a title this season.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? That's a long time.
Well,
Like,
hopefully soon come, Big Man.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely soon come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got the Detroit Pistons next. Then we have the LA Clippers next. After that, we have an opportunity, you know, to run this table on this homestand. So I want to take full advantage of this. We are at our time right now. So please look up at the top. You will notice we're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on iHeartRadio, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. We depend on word of mouth advertisements. So we need people to do what, Bert?
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, and tell them to tell their friends, and then we all can be friends. Yeah.
No te vire. Navecito. No, I ain't gonna get into all
Don't do it. That's Jose.
hey, thanks for rocking out with us. Much
Hey, man,
love.
to all the
Y'all
viewers,
know
man.
the words.
Thanks, y'all.
Wepa. Sixers win.